that China actually manufactured this virus and then let it out, that is a big, big deal, and it changes the game of everything. So I want to welcome back to the show virologist and Dr. Li Mengyan. Doctor, welcome back to the show. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
So I just want to be clear. You published this paper this week. What evidence do you now have that this virus was actually created in a lab in Wuhan?
Okay, first, as I mentioned in this first report, these are the scientific evidence which clearly shows to people that why this one is come from the lab in China and how they can do it and what have they been used to do it. And also, all these things can be traced from the reference, the whole over 100 reference list at the end of this report. You will see who are the experts in making this and also already published the papers to show they have done that. And the other thing is I have the second report will come out soon. These are the scientific evidence. Besides, I have some other evidence. As I mentioned, I work in the WHO reference lab. Before, I work with the top coronavirologists, including Professor Manik Paris and other WHO consultants in this field. And I have other intelligence and also, as I mentioned before, other evidence.
So, Doctor, I'm not a scientist. I didn't even take science in college. So bear with me as I ask you this question because I want to get this right. But from my understanding is in order, if it were manufactured in a lab, there would be certain genetically modified markers that somebody could see in this. But there's something called gain of function. And gain of function is when you rapidly bring it through and pass it through a series of animals. So you go, bat to a goat to something else, and then it looks like it actually was naturally evolved by the time it gets to a human. And that would avoid it having these genetically modified markers that otherwise would be there. Is that a possibility of how it's escaped looking like it came from a lab?
So let me briefly introduce this concept to you. So first, as you mentioned, yeah, exactly. This is done by the gain of function experiments because, as I said, I was a virologist and working on the vaccine study in that lab before. So what I can say is based on the evidence left after modification in the SARS-CoV-2 virus genome, there it clearly shows this is after the created and makes this not harmful virus into the human high contagious and lethal virus. And this gain of function process definitely not have any medical purpose. It's not to make it helpful to help us get vaccine or drugs, not at all. I mean, this is totally go to the other side to make it harmful. And I have shown it as a part 2 of my report too.
So if I had to nail you down and say what degree of certainty do you have that this came from a lab from 0% to 100%, 100 meaning it unequivocally came out of a lab in Wuhan, what percentage would you put on that?
Okay, although there always argues about the nature origin things and without solid evidence, even without any useful evidence now, and I still want to tell people that this is definitely come from the lab and it is not by accident because I have been working in the P3 lab, belong to WHO reference lab in the University of Hong Kong. That is the top coronavirus virus lab in the world and also for other emerging disease study. So I have my experience. I can tell you for P3 and P4 lab, the only live creature go inside and can come back alive a human.
So, Doctor, I'm sorry. I just want one thing you said. Apologies, but you said that it was definitely in a lab. But you also said, and this is important, it wasn't by accident. What do you mean? Do you mean it wasn't released by accident? That they intentionally wanted to release this?
As I said in Tucker Show last time, yes, this is intentionally because. First, from my experience, as I said, the P3 lab and the higher level lab like P4, I mean, trust me, this is working for the very, very dangerous pathogen. So they have very strict protocols. They have 24-hour, 7-day surveillance. And there are people who works on training you and monitor you when you are working. So staff get the strict training and get into that lab can go back alive. But the animals, the pathogens, all have to be destroyed and after the very serious procedure and go out without any living possibility.
Doctor, I asked you this last time. Since we last spoke in August, have you spoken to any additional officials in the U.S. government, specifically in the area of health, like the Department of Health and Human Services, FDA, CDC, any of those type infectious diseases agencies?
I still cannot say the name of people who I contacted, but yes, I have contacted many people from the government, especially my report is sent to them. And from the feedback I have, people who read my report strongly support my conclusion in the report.
And where can those reports be found?
This report you can download from Zenodo, Zenodo. That is an open access database because this is a preprint website. So I choose it to get all the people can easily get it within a short time. As we know, peer-reviewed journals already be manipulated or influenced by the big power. So it will take months or years for them to review my report and change it and reject it. But I think this is urgent time. Everyone deserves to read this report to make their judgment. That's why I upload to a preprint website. And I want to tell you is the first time I uploaded it to the big one, BioRexy, which is under the Cold Spring Harbor lab. But that one got hack attack this morning, this Monday in the morning. So I have to quickly withdraw it and turn to Zenodo.
Okay.
So yeah, people can get it.
All right. Well, doctor, thank you for sharing that with us. I appreciate you coming back to us. I wish you continued health and safety as you continue to get the word out on this. Look forward to having you back and getting an update, though, very soon. Thank you and have a great weekend.